Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. Super Bowl dreams are on the line today in the conference championship, where only one team can move on. It's the Raiders going up against the Jaguars. With that, let's head up the road to Jacksonville, Florida. Standing by are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Larry, we welcome our viewers to Duval County, the northern part of Florida, and the largest city in the Sunshine State, as EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to Everbank Field here in Jacksonville. Straight ahead, it's a clash to decide the AFC's representative in the Super Bowl, and it'll be a great one between the Oakland Raiders and the Jacksonville Jaguars. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. On first down, Bortles. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. And they talked about how important the passing game was going to be against that defensive look. Good job there going to the air for the first down.
It's all about preparation. It's all about planning. And then it's about execution. So they put it all together in practice. Okay, this is what we think we're going to see. This is how they get to it. And then when the game comes, read it and attack it.
From midfield, here's Bortles. Looking for Hearns, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. Stays on his feet. And he will take this all the way down to the 38-yard line. Bortles was accident-prone last year, led the league with 18 picks and an early pick here.
And you know he spent a lot of time in the offseason working on this, thinking about it. It's not that he's not going to throw any. They just hope that that number gets cut down significantly.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. And he motions the wide receiver. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. Offensive starters now. Charles, what about Latavius Murray?
You know how you and I talk about players under the radar sometimes? Latavius Murray definitely qualifies as one of those players. And then you look up, and he's pressing 1,000 yards every year.
Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 6 on the play. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
To the left side and complete for Amari Cooper. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Amari Cooper, 29 yards. And the Raiders have taken the early lead. In a game of this magnitude, it's always good to get out to a great start. But a game of this magnitude, you go up early, that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. Psychologically, you now have the advantage as well as on the scoreboard. And also, it's a settling effect for your team. You're in it now. You've got the lead. Let's just go play some more ball.
Big mistake here by the kicker, kicking it out of bounds.
The one that drives coaches crazy. Keep it in the field of play and let your guys cover.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Throwing on first down is Bortles. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Bortles to throw on 2nd down. Buying time to his left. And the Raiders have got him. Got the hand caught up in the grill of the face mask. 15-yard penalty.
So tough for a defender. You're trying so hard to make a play, and the way that these offensive guys can move around, sometimes your hand gets into the wrong place.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. On 1st and 10, here's Bortles. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's got time in the pocket. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jonathan Cyprien. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. The Jags offense now gets set and heads back onto the field. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions. But some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense. But when you turn it over, it changes momentum. And when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise it's going to be a long day for you.
They'll run here with Robinson. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. When we sat with the coaching staff a couple of days ago, they said attacking that defensive look with a run, something they wanted to do, it was effective.
And they were extremely confident, weren't they? Their planning, their preparation, they knew what they were going to get in that defense, and they were able to attack it accordingly.
They run. Robinson. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it's almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackler was there right away for a loss of yardage.
Here we go. Black 58 rail. Black 58 rail. Black 58 rail. Here we go. Blue rail.
On 2nd down, here's Bortles. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Time to meet the defensive starters for the Oakland Raiders, and you want to discuss one of their safeties.
I certainly do. Carl Joseph out of West Virginia. Always did a great job policing the middle of the field. A big hitter, knocked the ball away, but really added to his game his last year as a Mountaineer. Became a better cover guy and a better ball hawk before he got injured. They're really going to love him in Oakland. This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Bortles again here on 2nd and 10. It's caught right side. It turns. Touchdown, Jaguars. Allen Hurns, 36 yards. And the Jaguars are within an extra point of tying this one up. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the inline. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. They go back to the air here after the INT. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. He got 29 yards that time. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And it's a fumble. And the Jags grab it. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. The Jaguars getting set to go. And that last drive, a long drive. But not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
2nd down now after the pass completion. They'll run it now out of the gun. Denard Robinson by himself. 20. And they do finally get him at the 12. It's a big play for the Jaguars. 56 yards on the ground. Bortles now on 1st down. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he's brought down. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal.
Okay, when the big guy runs a corner route, you're asking a lot no matter who's covering him. Doesn't matter whether it's a linebacker or a defensive back. Yeah. He usually has the advantage because of his body type.
Here we go. Blue 45. Blue.
Throwing now is Bortles. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. And now off to the races down the right side. The 40. Past the 20. 10. 5. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for 6 and a Raider touchdown. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score. And a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
He'll be singing in the shower post-game. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10 at the 9-yard line.
Special teams coaches spend a lot of time scheming things up, but this was just a bad return. Now the offense has a long way to go to try to put points on the board.
And tough starting field position here. Now after the fumble recovery, it's Bortles. Over the middle, the connection to Hearns. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they take over already 5 yards deep into the red zone at the 15-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You've got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. They'll come out throwing here on first down. And that'll be incomplete. Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. A great effort there. A 15-yard touchdown run. And the Raiders add on to their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
All right, I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Good, acting like you're so old. You're only 65. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Bortles will try again on 2nd down. And he is going to be hit and taken down. Bortles sacked. He didn't get rid of the football there, took the sack. Although that's easier said than done. He can't just chuck the thing sideways into the seats.
No, he really can't because you're not afforded total protection as a quarterback. You have to get outside of the tackle boxes as defined by the NFL, meaning wherever your tackles operate normally, get outside of that. And the ball that you throw has to get back to at least the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, you face an intentional grounding call. Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
And this one will wind up being down just outside of that 20-yard line. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out, and they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, get into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. Now a handoff looking right. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. Wasn't able to get anything, no gain. Fumbled once already. Maybe he's being a little careful. Not necessarily on that play, but I'm sure that's in his mind somewhere.
Oh, without a doubt, because protecting the football is job one for anyone who's carrying it. And that's exactly what he tried to do on that play, but it didn't gain him any yardage.
Give him 8 yards on the play, and they pick up the first. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
He'll buy some time right. On the crossing route, he hits his man, Amari Cooper. Give him 22 on that one. Good enough for an Oakland first down. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him. And he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
Second down to the offense in search of 6 yards. The wide receiver moving to a new spot. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jonathan Cyprien. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, if something like that, there got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up the defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play. Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Bortles going to throw. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And Mike Tomlin going to roll up the sleeves here and say, let's go for it on 4th.
A short game that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before. He needed a couple, but he didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. And this defense will take over right at midfield. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite at that level and not at that age. But I remember
going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
Now the offense moving in the wrong direction here now as they face a 2nd and 12.
Here we go now.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Steps away to his left. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
Yeah, not much there that time, and I think we were both wondering once he got out of the box whether he just throw the ball away, and he winds up only picking up a yard or 2.
All right, here we go.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or 2 in and bats it away.
So on 4th down, here's Marquette King to punt it away. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
So on trots the field goal unit, and wow, this is going to be a challenge here. This was the old NFL record distance for decades, a 63-yard attempt. And that will wind up just short. He had it on line. It ran out of gas at the end, and this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
Bortles now on first down. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
On first down, Bortles. And that's off the mark, incomplete. Denard Robinson, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
Ten yards still left on second down. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Bortles again here on 2nd and 10. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. A good job defensively to hold that to 4 yards, and now it's third down. And quickly they get to the line. Throwing his Bortles on third down. And Robinson with a big catch. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
Now Bortles again. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And give him 3 on the screen. He couldn't break free, and it's third down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Bortles going to try and throw on third down. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Their dangerous wide receiver from 8 yards out. And the Jaguars are back within a score. It's up and good. This becomes a 21-14 ball game now. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. This one taken from the 7. Fighting through. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Wide open, Amari Cooper. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. To throw now on first down. Finding time. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. Good job by the O-line. Quarterback had time to go through his checks. That's one you need to take advantage of.
A perfect situation, and they're unable to take advantage of it. When you have that much time to scan the field, you have to find an open receiver.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. And he can't hang on. He had a good shot there for his third pick of the game. Instead, it's third down.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their third of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they missed a golden opportunity.
Back there, Philly, here we go. Watch it now, Barney, Barney. Detroit, Detroit. Watch it. No, check, Patriot.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to rifle one deep left side. This is caught inside the 15. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. And Gano's kick is right through. So we come upon halftime in the AFC title game. As we send you a couple hours south to Orlando, let's check in with Larry Ridley for our EA Sports Halftime Report. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. Now comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point.
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
Toe bashed it.
Super toe.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Survey. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. On first down, this is Ivory. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
Ready, green, left, slow. Ace, there we go. Green, 39.
On second down, here's Bortles. Incomplete. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. And it's third down.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete.
Ace.
Throwing his Bortles on third down. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return just out across the 15 to the 16-yard line. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They'll drop to throw. He's got time. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Tashawn Gibson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So after the INT, it's Bortles. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. A huge play there on the screen pass. 43 yards.
The best passing attacks in the NFL often incorporate the guys out of the backfield catching the football. And that's what we just got on that play. As a primary receiver, not always just a check down, not always a safety valve. Sometimes they just get it to them right away because they have the matchup advantage.
Caught out left side by Robinson. Touchdown, Jaguars. Allen Robinson, 42 yards. And the forced turnover on defense leads to 6 points. And this is no good. It's a missed extra point. Boy, in a tight game, how important might that turn? Now whistles, and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Still just a 2-score game in the 3rd quarter, but they're going to go onside kick here anyway. The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. 3rd down at 4. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And that is incomplete. Amari Cooper, the intended target. And it's 4th and 4.
And I think the end result, knocking the ball away, was a product of understanding where they were on the field, understanding how many yards they needed to pick up the 1st down, and tightening their coverage accordingly. Gave them no gaps, no spaces, no real air in which to catch the football, and end up making a really nice play.
Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch in the end zone again. They know it's not easy, but what they do have going for them, they did score the last time. They think they've got a good formula working.
And what about the defense?
Well, now you're just saying to yourself, okay, give up a score last time. What adjustments do we need to make to slow them down now and get the ball back for our own offense? Is it more pressure? Is it more zone? What do they have to do? They're trying to figure that out themselves.
We'll see if they can figure that out right here. Bortles now on 1st down. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. A good convergence there defensively. Only a yard, and it's 2nd down. And that will was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Second down and 4. Bortles to throw on second down. Over the middle, the connection to Hearns. And he's brought down. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is now with his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Now Bortles again. It's caught right side. It turns. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. So 3rd and 5, defensively expecting pass. They've got 6 DBs out there. Bortles to throw once more. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. Bortles to throw for it on 4th down. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. Mike Tomlin takes a shot here, but to no avail. And the Raider D, they get the football back. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And they'll run it here. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Really tough drive, but that run helped salvage something there, because now there's something positive that came out of it. They got to see good blocking, good push by the offensive line, wide receivers trying to get involved, a good run by the back. And now maybe it'll be a catalyst for them to look at going forward, watching it on tape. Maybe they can keep incorporating that type of a run into their offense.
Here comes the D swarming to the line.
All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches. So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. So from the 40 to the 45, 5-yard run. Back now in Jacksonville. It's the Raiders with a lead and the football here as we get ready to start quarter number 4. 2nd and 5. They come up in an offset eye. They'll try and run with their fullback. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard. And this situation with a lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line. 3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the first down.
Shift together here from the D-line.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He can't bring him down.
The weight room does work.
So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And the wideout in motion. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
The days of knowing your assignment, dropping to it, and calling it a day, that's over with. Because now, when you drop into a zone, especially as a defensive back, you're seeing the play in front of you. So if a man wanders into your area, guess what? Now it goes from zone to man coverage in many cases. And in this particular play, able to see the play in front of him, react to it, and knock the ball away. Gotta like what you just saw there, if you like zone defense.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this one down to the 36. A gutsy call by Jack Del Rio, but it does not pay off. And the Jaguars are going to take possession here on the turnover on downs. Throwing on 1st down is Bortles. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. So the grab there by the defense, the holding penalty called. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be tackled right on the midfield logo. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. And now they're in the hurry-up.
What a way to start a drive. An excellent run, a tone setter, and now, if you want to take a shot on 2nd down and go play action and make it look like the same exact play and throw it over the top, you can do so because you've established the run in a big way.
Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. 1 score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say maybe makes that offense feel good when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Six yards to go here on 2nd down. And he motions the wide receiver. Time running out here on the play clock. Now back to throw. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
Well, an incomplete pass certainly doesn't look like a good play. For the guy throwing it today, as many interceptions he's thrown, he's got to feel a sigh of relief that the ball actually hit the ground and didn't go in the other direction.
And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down.
Here we go. All right, now look at 56. Lucky 56. All right, now look at 56. Lucky 56. Detroit.
And the back goes into motion.
Lucky 56.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Here we go. 3-19. Over.
Now the defense definitely showing blitz here. The wide receiver moving to a new spot. Play clock winding down. They'll look to throw again. He's got time in the pocket. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Jaguars are going to take possession here on the turnover on downs. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. On 1st and 10, here's Bortles. Caught out left side by Robinson. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this 4th quarter. 2nd down following the run. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Now Bortles throwing on 2nd down. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
And there's a good opportunity. Just went awry there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
So the offense dealing with a 3rd and 6. Throwing his Bortles on 3rd down. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. It's a gain of 5. The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. And leading here late, so a chance for the defense to really close out this game if they can halt the offense. On 1st down, Bortles. And a dump off here to Robinson. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Getting late in the 4th now, Charles. 2-minute warning just around the corner.
Yeah, some teams just want to get to that spot, take a breath, and then come out and attack for the rest of the game.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive.
Here we go. Here we go now. Blue 45.
Bortles to throw on 2nd down. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to...
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. They have the lead, still a one-possession game, but the defense got to stop. They've got the football now, just salted away, right?
Exactly. That's all the defense is counting on from their offense. They did their job in a big way. You know they're over on the sidelines now starting to take their tape off and, hey, we've done this thing. The offense has to put it away, and that means ball security.
Absolutely. Stranger things have happened. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. And now the Jags defense deciding to call a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They come out here in the eye. On the give, this is their fullback. And now the Jags going to signal for another timeout. That'll be their second, so one more chance to stop the clock here. And we'll be back. And the offense needs 7 out of this play on 3rd down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And a gain there of 11 yards.
And they pick up a first down, and that came out of the fullback position. But as you and I both know, that doesn't necessarily mean that's a fullback playing in that spot.
Well, times have changed, right? The old school fullback doesn't really exist anymore.
We're not getting that same player out of college. With all the spread offenses, not very many pro style, where you actually have a true fullback. We're having to make do in the NFL and put guys in that spot who emulate it but aren't necessarily that position.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Prince Amukamara. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually.
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Khalil Mack. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up.
Now, hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. 9 yards still remaining here to pick up the first on 2nd down. And they're definitely showing blitz here. Now they'll run it on the toss. And a solid run down inside the 30. It's a gain of 6, moves them to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
On 3rd down, they'll try and run for it on the draw. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
The Vikings are now on the clock.
Vikings just made their pick. Adam, what can you tell us about him?
He's one of the few receivers in college that no matter what sort of coverage you threw at him, he always came away with the ball. A great example is one of his impressive touchdown catches that has been on highlight reels ever since. It was late in the game, and the defense knew who the quarterback was going to target. He was surrounded by 3 defenders when his quarterback put the ball in the air, and even though he was completely swamped, somehow he managed to pluck the ball right over the defenders' heads. He isn't the biggest receiver, but he has the ability to stretch and make the play, essentially making him a larger and taller target and a real threat in the red zone. I think this team got a possible difference maker at receiver.
The Titans are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock.
Now that the Broncos have made their pick, let's go to Adam Schefter for more.
Just when you thought his draft stock couldn't be any higher, here's a guy that goes out and puts on an absolute show in the College All-Star game, being named the game's MVP. Several GMs I spoke to cite that performance as the reason many draft experts, including Matt Miller, labeled him as the clear-cut #1 quarterback in this year's draft. He's never backed down from a challenge, and I can only imagine he's chomping at the bit to meet with the coaching staff as soon as possible to begin his NFL journey.
The Dolphins have made their selection, and it's Greenwood.
He came to his pro day looking a little bit slimmer than he was at the combine. That weight loss seemed to help as he ran a faster 40 and 3 cone drill than he did at the combine. However, he turned in fewer reps on the bench and had less of a burst in his vertical. While he was able to gain some speed, it came at the cost of some of his strength. Now that he's on a team, they'll work with him to make sure he's at an ideal playing size for his role on the line.
The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock.
Our very own Adam Schefter has more to say about this pick.
Here's a guy who never quite lived up to expectations throughout the season until a solid late performance acted as the catalyst to this pre-draft hype. He followed up the strong late season performance with a stronger pro day, leading many teams to move him up their big boards. One GM I talked to felt his renewed confidence could be attributed to his performance in that late season game, stating, quote, "It was the shot in the arm he needed to begin believing in his abilities again," close quote. If he can continue to conquer the self-doubt that has held his game back in the past, he could be a formidable NFL wideout. He'll be a player to keep an eye on as the preseason approaches.
All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
Well, there isn't much to say other than this kid was born to run. He's the spitting image of his father, a nationally ranked sprinter in several major events and highly recruited by every major college. However, unlike his dad, he chose to pursue a career in football, and so far that decision is paying off. He may not be gold medal fast, but he has the speed and quickness to cause fits for the opposing team. He's the type of player you like to see out in the open field where he can make moves a lot of other players can't. The coaches are going to love having his speed at their disposal.
The Rams are now on the clock.
Rams have just made their pick. Adam, what can you tell us about him?
A skilled running back with a nose for the end zone, his draft stock got a shot in the arm after setting a team record for single-game rushing touchdowns. He's a unique mixture of speed, power, and agility, reminding some draft experts of Emmitt Smith. Sources I spoke with absolutely love his linebacker mentality, refusing to go out of bounds and taking on defenders in hopes of extra yards wherever and whenever possible. He should see immediate action in the preseason and compete for the starting spot.
Let's go to Adam Schefter now, who's got more to say about the Browns' latest pick.
Every GM I've talked to has told me that their eyes lit up every time they watch film on this guy. He was such an offensive weapon in college that he often saw a team's number 1 and number 2 cornerbacks line up against him, and he routinely dominated them. Not only is he an outstanding receiver, I've heard from many scouts that he's one of the better blockers they've seen in this draft class, including offensive linemen. He's a guy that's going to get a lot of reps in training camp and a chance to make an immediate difference on this team.
The Texans are now on the clock.
Now that the Texans have made their pick, let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more.
He's a gifted tight end who had scouts buzzing to begin the season. Just as the hype surrounding him was hitting an all-time high, he was plagued by a series of critical fumbles, leaving draft experts wondering what went wrong. Sources tell me that after the season ended, he began working with a sports psychologist to help curb the fumbling issues. He performed well at both his pro day and at the combine, but has yet to demonstrate his grip on the ball after contact. Clearly, this is a team that feels the fumbling issues are behind him and are confident his upside far outweighs any of the potential risk.
They've just picked up Morgan. What's the latest on him, Adam?
Sometimes an overall 40-yard time taken at face value can be misleading And here's a good example why. At his pro day, you might have thought that he ran the same time as he did at the combine. But if you look at the split times, he was significantly quicker in the 10 and 20-yard splits than he was previously. His top-end speed is still roughly the same, but what he was able to show was a quicker burst off the line, something that's valued on any position down in the trenches. His quicker first step helped him rise a bit over some of the other defenders and be taken with this pick.
The Falcons are now on the clock. All right, now that the pick's in, let's go to Adam. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
He came away from the combine with the Workout Warrior designation. It's a title that helps some sleepers become stars and some busts become, well, busts. The question was, which category did he fall under? Well, in his defense, if you look at his film, it seems to match up well with what he can do in the weight room. He's a physically gifted athlete and knows how to use it in games. If I had to pick out what kind of workout warrior he is, I call him Boom. We'll see if I'm right.
The Jets are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. Pick's been made. Let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about the player.
He kicked off the offseason with one of the best all-star performances among defensive backs this year. How well did he play? As Matt Miller described, he simply took his matchup out of the play each and every time. The quarterbacks did their best avoiding him throughout the day, throwing to the other side of the field or the check down read. After he made such a big impression at the All-Star game, he backed up his play with a fantastic showing at the Combine and Pro Days. The team has to be grateful he was available at this point in the draft, and it didn't waste any time scooping him up.
The Broncos are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. All right, let's go to Adam Schefter, who's got more on this pick.
The key concern I've been hearing from several GMs is that he simply isn't in good enough physical shape to see significant action early in the season. Even with a full off season of NFL conditioning, the feeling is that he will not be able to stay on the field every down and maintain that high level of play coaches want out of their guys. The game never slows down at this level. He's going to have to get in better shape if he wants to be an every down player. This is a kid who may eventually make an impact in the league, but it may take an entire year to get his body into the kind of shape needed to make an impact at this level.
So here's the Dolphins' pick is in. Let's go to Adam with more on Hannah.
He was always a player who cared about academics, and that couldn't have been made any more clear when he decided to forego his senior season in order to take on more classes. His goal was to graduate before entering the NFL draft, and at the sacrifice of his final year of football eligibility, he was able to pull it off. The decision left some experts scratching their heads, but guys like Matt Miller saw it as a smart move to stay injury-free and remove the distraction of getting his diploma once he went pro. At least with the degree, he has a backup job now in case this whole football thing doesn't work out for him.
The Lions are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
He had an average day at the combine, but something a few different scouts pointed out was his lack of speed in the 40. He ran an average time for an offensive lineman, but the big area of focus for guys his size is the first 10-yard split. It took him almost 2 seconds to get out of his stance and across the first 10 yards. This is a good measure of how quickly a lineman can get out of his stance and get downfield. Looking at what he did at Indy, there's some concern as to how fast he can get to the second level while run blocking. This is an area where improvement can be difficult, but we'll see how he does it for his team.
The Browns are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. Adam, what can you tell us about the Giants' newest player?
It's always great to see a running back win the Heisman. It's like a sign that the old ways of ground and pound haven't completely vanished. He was a pure workhorse for the team and accounted for well over 60% of its total offensive production. Remove him from the team, and I strongly believe it wouldn't have finished at the top of its conference. And now he has the chance to carry the ball at the next level, and this team just got a gem of a player. We'll see if he becomes its primary ball carrier right from the start, or if it incorporates him into a running back by committee system.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Falcons are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock.
Seahawks have just picked up Givens. Adam, what can you tell us about him?
As aggressive as a defensive lineman as you will find, here's a guy who plays with reckless abandon in his quest to bring down an opposing quarterback. Many I talk to point to this mentality as the reason why he ended up with a ruptured pectoral muscle and cracked sternum, ending his college career. A tendo Achilles allograft reconstruction was needed to repair the pectoral and graft it back into place. Procedure typically takes 12 to 18 months to return from, yet he was able to achieve medical clearance in just 7. What remains to be seen, however, is if his all-out style of play will have changed at all, knowing that an aggravation of the injury likely means an end to his career. Fans of the team should not be surprised if we see a much more passive version of him come this fall. The special shoulder pads he'll need to wear to protect the area could slow him down by themselves.